I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain, and we're your fuck buddies.
We are a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we're a podcast that finds questions about sex and dating and answers them right here, right now, every week in your ears. Where do we find them? From our twisted listeners or from the internet. Kind of did that one out of order, but that's okay.
That's okay. Sometimes you gotta switch it up.
Are you ready to just dive right in?
I think so. Man, I'm really pissed. I saw something during the week, and I was like, that would make great sex news.
Okay.
And then when I went to like save the article, because it was in like the, you know, the weird like side screen that you have on your phone that has like just things it thinks you'll be interested in, and usually they are correct. So I couldn't like save it. So I had to like open it, and for whatever reason it refreshed and I lost it. But I was like, that's okay, because I've gone through this experience. I will for sure remember what it was about. And now I don't.
No, was it about the TTC ads?
No.
Okay, but have you heard the controversy?
This is like the dating.
Yes. So for those unaware, the TTC is the Toronto Transit, like the subway, buses, streetcars. Famously not great. Getting worse by the year. And at this point, it's not only like transit delays and like overcrowding, but like not enough service, rising prices, but also
and
like
stabbings.
Yeah, harassment and violence. So the people behind the TTC, oblivious, decide to release a bunch of advertisements. I'm not even sure what they're fucking advertising for is the best part, because they were advertising themselves on themselves. So it's like at that point, you got them. You don't need them to be like, wait a minute, should I do this again? But it was basically like between stations, they meet, they connect. And there was all these like images of like, you know, almost like dating ads before the TTC, to which women were like, no, please do not encourage people to between stations meet and connect with me. Like the harassment's already bad. The violence is already bad. It's, you know, so just maybe don't. Was it a seduction guy who's also an advertisement guy who was like, yes, cold approach.
This is it.
Public transit. It's my time to shine.
You know what? It's probably, so I don't know if it's still the case, but back in my youth, one of my good just little like tidbits, which is where I used to go for my
one of your good little tidbits,
my good little like, you know, information like Toronto trivia thing is that Bathurst Station is one of the most romantic terminals, like subway transit stops in the world, and that is like quantified by the fact of how many misconnections were posted on various like sites and stuff, right? Like Craigslist, Kijiji, like misconnection things. Bathurst Station was one of the highest like rated ones because of it. And I used to go to a bar near there, or like a restaurant near there for my cake dates. So that was like one of the things I would always hit my dates with, was like this little like, you know, fun little trivia. So I wonder if someone finally like that came across someone at the TTC's desk and was like, that's it. This is how we'll make people not be scared on the subway anymore.
Well, it's like maybe they're just really trying to go the opposite way, where it's like people are like, yo, they're worried about getting stabbed or accosted. And it's like, but maybe we hit them with you could find love.
Yeah, but could be romance.
You will get fucking stabbed by Cupid's knife.
Yeah.
Are you ready? This week, we are going to be talking about, I'm convinced my husband faked his orgasm and peed on me.
Nice. Oh, right. That wasn't the question.
It is your turn, yeah.
This is the recap part. What's the difference between making or having sex and making love?
One of our friends heard my girlfriend call me a racial slur. Now my friend group is shunning her and trying to break us up. How can I diffuse this without telling them the embarrassing truth?
Great sex, but we broke up.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a spicy episode. Stay tuned. This is by Supernova49. I'm convinced my husband, 26-year-old male, faked his orgasm and peed on me, 24-year-old female. Yeah, you read that right. I am married to my husband. Thank you. And I'm absolutely convinced he peed on me and pretended to finish. I apologize for the graphic information. I do not know how to move forward from here. Little context. I've had suspicions in the past. We never used to utilize the pullout method, but since I gave birth to our child, I was not taking any chances. He's been pulling out for 2 years now, and for the last 2 years... Okay, can we just take a minute? If you're using the pull-out method, you are in fact taking many chances.
Yeah.
But let's get back to it. For the past 2 years, my mind has been trying to convince me that he's faking his orgasms. The first time I thought to myself, did he just fake it? I swear he just spit on me. I heard him spit, and then groan like he finished. But I didn't want to judge. Maybe he didn't want to disappoint me. However, it kept happening. Eventually, I stopped initiating any sex. I waited for him to make a move. Tonight, we were doing the deed. He was taking longer than usual to finish, but no worries for me. I'm in the doggy style position, and he said he's going to finish. All of a sudden, I feel very warm, thin liquid spread all over my back. It was very quick, too. I hear a gush of liquid come out of him, and it literally startled me. He said, wow, that was everything I had, and then grabbed a towel to clean me off. I said to him, are you okay? It sounded like you peed. He replies, no, baby, I promise. Now I'm too scared to push it further. I don't want to make him uncomfortable at all, but my mind is racing. I did gain some weight due to pregnancy. It was high risk. His job is physically demanding. He is blue collar. I guess I'm wondering, how would you move forward with a conversation about this?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I've never been ejaculated on, but I think I would probably know the difference between being hit with a stream of piss and cum. Because I imagine there's the quantity, you know what I mean? Like I don't think I could hit someone with like a
snippet of piss, pew, you know what I mean?
Just a small,
yeah,
you know, a Cummings worth of piss, as it were.
For sure. That would be almost impossible, I would imagine. So like this is where I kind of like, there's so many things to talk about in this question, but like 1, the volume, right? 2, the smell. Like how do you get pissed on and not know, right? 3, the angle. If he has a boner and he's pissing, it's not going to land where you'd come. It's going the distance.
Yeah.
4, if I wasn't going to
Hercules.
come, yeah, it's he can go the distance. He will pee so far. You won't know it's come, or you won't know it's not come. Before it's like, can you imagine a world in which you're like, fuck, I'm not going to come. Better piss on her.
That's my thing. It's like the idea is, I guess the other thing, like what makes this tricky for me is that she has mentioned in the past that he spit and she thought that was the situation. Because I was going to say, if you're telling me that this man has like locked and loaded just a small amount of a couple milliliters of piss just ready to fucking go at the drop of a hat when he's like, yeah, I've done my job here. I'm done here. Pew. I finished. But the spit is a little more like, here's my solution for you. And next time, be like, oh, I want you to come on my tits.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then it's happening in front of you. And if all of a sudden he's peeing on you, then you know that you know, problem solved. And if he starts spitting on you, another problem solved.
Yeah.
And if you keep requesting that, like, stomach, tits, wherever, you know, face, whatever you're comfortable with, then if all of a sudden, like, every time he's like, oh, sorry, I can't, then, okay, maybe you have grounds to be suspicious. But if he's just like, yeah, okay, and then hits you with a really watery cum, then be like, okay, we've solved the problem.
It really does not make sense to me that this would be a thing that you ever are suspicious about, but like continue to be suspicious about for seemingly a very long time. And then like, why would he change it up? If Spit Gambit is working, why would he move to Piss Gambit? You know what I mean? If all he has to do is
riskier.
Yeah, right. If you've had this happen and never really brought it up or called it or anything, I don't think he would move to arguably the worst option.
Perhaps he's always wanted to pee on her.
Maybe he had a really dry mouth and he was like, shit, I can't spit. Oh no, there's only one option.
There's only one other liquid I can produce on demand. And it's a tiny amount of pee.
Like, everything about this question is so upsetting. I don't understand how you're in a relationship where you are spiraling over this and are unable to talk or, again, take the very simple, like, steps of, like, maybe just seeing him when he comes. Do you only fuck doggy style?
Yeah.
Why?
That's and it's like, it's fine. Like, you could, if some people, you know, need a certain position to get them off.
Even then, it's like, if that's all you do, there's probably something else.
I'm saying like maybe that's the finishing move. You know what I mean?
Even then, if I only had one finishing move, I would be sad with my sex life.
I guess. But like, regardless, I'm not here to judge or yuck anyone's yums.
I am.
If doggy style is what helps you finish, fucking great. You can turn around, right? Like you're not stuck in doggy style until liquid has ceased from being expelled from his body. Like you can. Porn stars do it all the time, in which they get into a position. Like it is possible to get into a new position to receive his ejaculate. Again, this is for testing purposes. I'm not saying you have to, but like if you want to sort of like see what's happening in his downstairs department, you'll need to like turn around.
Also, like it's just, again, wild to me that this is a concern you have that is not being addressed short of posting it on Reddit. But if I was in this position and I was like, did someone just piss on me and hastily wipe it up with a towel? I would give that towel a sniff. I would also sniff my own, like I would put a hand on my back and then sniff that hand. You know what I mean? Like,
also, there's no way this man has laser fucking aim and has managed to pee on you and keep it solely on your body in the sense of like,
yes,
there would be splatter, right? There would be,
yes.
And like, I'm sorry, as again, I preface this at the beginning saying I've never been ejaculated on, but I have both pissed and ejaculated, and
you probably ejaculated on yourself at some point.
I'm sure I've got yeah, of course I have.
You never done the old like tummy landing zone, lying down?
Yeah, just anything.
There you go.
Like
came right on yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
I definitely have.
I can promise you I have, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I also know the smell difference.
Yeah,
and that's
like
again, that's from someone who has never like willfully smelled piss or ejaculate. Just existing as a person, I know the difference between those two smells.
I could smell you piss across like you go into a bathroom, it smells like piss. You know what piss smells like. This was not like piss is not a stealthy maneuver.
No. So and that's what I'm saying. It's like, unless you have the craziest arch in all of the arches, like you haven't made a pee reservoir on your back that has stopped it from dropping on your, you should know. If you can't tell the difference between whether or not you've been peed on or ejaculated on, I think there's
something has gone terribly wrong here.
Yeah, there's a concern for your husband's safety.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing. I think there's a concern that you don't know the difference between the two of them.
And that's the thing. It's like it would. So if he peed a bit and stopped, like you can't hold that for long. It is agonizing and hard. So did he do this, grab a towel, wipe, and then run to the bathroom and then piss all over the walls because he has a boner? You know what I mean? Like, is this what happened? Like, do you not know how human bodies work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then I begin to believe that you have some kind of like paranoia about this, which it sounds very clear that you do, because there's no point where you kind of give a reason. You literally say, where was it? For the past 2 years, my mind has been trying to convince me he's faking his orgasms. That doesn't start with a like, oh, he did this thing to convince me. It seems to be your mind started to do it. Then you heard him spit one day and you were like, aha. So like, I'm worrying, do you have some kind of like mental hole that you've fallen into for some reason and it's just spiraled and kept going? Because there's no way he would pee on you and you not know via the medium of liquidness, piss, smell, it dripping down you onto the bed or wherever you guys are, it being on the towel.
It's volume. It's volume.
Yeah, volume. Like, how would he only have a little bit of piss? Like, unless this is like a now you see me level of yeah, right. We've talked about cum. There's not that much. It could be just slightly more watery cum. Has that happened? Yes. Sometimes you got a big, thick load. Sometimes you got a slightly waterier load.
Especially if you're super hydrated. Like
exactly.
If you're really hydrated.
Like if you're maybe working a blue-collar job, like you weirdly point out at the bottom. Also, why did you point out that you gained a little bit of weight for pregnancy? What the fuck is that? Is that the key? Is that the linchpin? This is why you're insecure?
That's what I think it is. I think she's insecure about her body. She thinks that he's not attracted to her anymore and therefore faking an orgasm, right? I think that's the through line of being like, she's self-conscious, which I get it. You just created human life. A lot of women struggle with body image after the fact, especially like losing the weight or feeling unattractive because of it. Like I totally understand.
Yeah, you've gone through a crazy thing physically, mentally. You've been ravaged by hormones and the media is not kind. So
Yeah.
We get it.
And also, like, you're inundated. I'm sure you follow a bunch of mom influencers, and I'm sure all of those bounce back to their original sizes and shapes because they have the money to afford personal trainers, and this is what they do for a living. Yeah. So I get it. You're stressed out about your body. You're probably insecure about it. And then all of a sudden, one day maybe he had fucking fluff in his mouth and you heard him, do a little spit to get it out of his mouth. And that that was the first domino that triggered. Or, maybe one day he couldn't finish because he was fucking tired. Or maybe one day, he took a little longer than usual because of whatever fucking reason. Like,
or maybe you looked like a urinal and he kind of went for it a bit. And but yes, so many things here. Communication, first and foremost. If you cannot talk about your concerns, what are you doing being married? What are you doing with a kid?
Oh, no, she didn't ask. She asked if he was okay, right?
She did at one point turn around and say, that sounded like you peed. He goes, I promise, baby, which is a really suspicious response.
That's a weird answer.
So now I'm back on her side. I think he did pee because
that's what I'm saying. I don't trust either of these people in this question. I think both of them have things they've got to work through. And I think the only way to you got to catch him, right? You got to get him to ejaculate on you or something.
Okay, let's go through it. You say, hey, let's do it missionary. Come on my tits, come on my belly, whatever. And if he is like, no, I don't want to do that. You're like, oh, you can only finish doggy style. That's great, because a kink of mine is to set up a mirror and watch myself get fucked. At which point you set up a cunning, a panopticon of mirrors. You can see his dick from every angle. And you can see when his golden arc crests over your back, that's pee, or his cum is yellow.
Yeah, and in which case,
both
go to a doctor. Yeah.
Looking into.
All I can think of this entire question is how angry my partner is going to be while listening to this episode.
That's why we do this.
I'm in big trouble, boys. I'm in big trouble. She did, however, joke while I was coming into the closet to record this to preface every question with, "This is the problem I'm having with my partner," to give it a more personal twist. I feel like she would immediately regret that decision.
Can you edit that in at the start of this question? Oh, wait, I'm just reading. This one was sent in by Dane.
Yeah. What's the difference between having sex, making love? This is from Nacho Man.
Damn.
I don't know if this is a weird question, but I usually hear people say there's a difference between the two. So what's the difference between having sex and making love? What makes sex go from having sex to making love?
It's all about the speed.
You think so?
No, I think there's an implied sensuality to making love as opposed to sex, which is when you're making love, you're still having sex. But when you're having sex, you're not making love necessarily.
I appreciate your answer. I don't think it means anything.
No, I think people put a meaning to it.
But here's my stance on it. If you need a differential between the two of them, right? If you need to be able to put a line between them,
you're doing it wrong.
That's not a oh, my partner is asking me to make love to them. That's your partner requires something from you.
Yeah.
Right. And whether it's not there isn't a thing that you do and all of a sudden, oh, now we're making love. Oops. It's not a certain, X amount of eye contact or X, there isn't something like that, because I think
no, there is though. There's a whole chart where it's X amount of eye contact, X amount of if you go over certain BPM, not making love anymore. You know what I mean? If you do certain positions, instantly not making love. You know what I mean? If you still got your shoes on, not making love. There's a lot of stuff.
Wooden clogs, and then
but then you've gone past. Now you've made love, you've created it. You formed it from.
And you put them on your feet in the form of wooden shoes.
Yeah, yeah. Carved love. So I'm not saying I agree with this term. I'm saying I think that's what people assign to it, because, I think there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I fucked this person, but I met this person, she's wifey material, we made love. You know what I mean? Where people almost assign value to sex. And it's if you're having sex with someone and you don't care enough about them and the process to just be it's fucking, it doesn't mean, you know what I mean? But then you find someone, you're we made love. I think you're really fucked when it comes to sex. I think you have really weird views. But does that mean people don't assign that to sex? No.
Yeah, you're correct in that sense. It's there is this sort of societal
view.
difference between the two of them. And there's also like, in media, we see it as well. But we're here to shake that up, though. We're here to break that.
We're here to unmake love to it.
Yeah. So I think like instead of moving into a sexual, situation and think like this time I'm going to make love to her, that doesn't mean anything, right? The same thing is like, as Nell said, it's like I could, in my opinion, like you could fuck the shit out of someone, like really like balls to the wall, toss around. That could still be considered making love.
Yeah.
Right? Like
100%. It's like, again, I think there's an implied intensity. I just don't think the standard definition would include that. You know what I mean? I think there's like a chasteness and a vanilla-ness to making love, right?
Yeah, making love is like lighting candles and putting on soft music and dimming the
silk
room lights
and like
and like
slow
eye contact,
fadeaways.
Yeah, and whispering sweet nothings in each other's ear,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can dirty talk and making love. Like I don't think that like. I think
it's a very
if we wanted to
puritanical version.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it's sex, but it's not dirty sex. It's pure like fuck off. You're not going to assign fucking morality to types of sex. You know what I mean?
I think if you wanted to, and I think if you want to have like a different idea of like two camps, I think when it transitions to like making love is when it's like when you're curating your sexual experience to the person you're having sex with to like maximize their pleasure, right?
Which
I think
like
that
you should always be doing.
You should be doing it for sure, but we know people don't.
Oh yeah,
right. I think it's
shout
like
out the man.
When you know like what your partner likes and enjoys, and you go out of your way to do those things for them, that's making love because you love that person.
Mm-hmm.
And again, regardless of whether it's like you're in love with them and like, your eyes are all heart and your soulmates or whatever, it's like you can love your fuck buddy. You can love your friends with benefit. You can love your casual sex acquaintance or person.
You don't have to be in love with them.
I've been called like 7 times since we started recording, and it's all like spam numbers. I don't know what's happening, but I'm popping off.
I've been live streaming this with your number underneath.
Live call-in.
People are calling in to be like, wait, what? Really?
So
I pissed too.
In Paris, we didn't make love. You asshole.
I didn't bring my clogs, damn it. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about it. If your partner is asking you to make love to you, there's probably like a coldness or a distance or like a lack of care. But like, I don't think differentiating other than when there are issues is really a problem or really a good thing.
That's my point, was like, if someone is asking you to make love to them, I think the next question should be like, what does that mean to you? Like, what can I do for you to make you feel like that is the experience you're getting? Because I think there is this like vanilla,
such a personal thing in that regard. You know what I mean? Because as you said, something is missing, so they're the ones that know what's missing. It's not like, oh, we need silk sheets and a fucking jazz song.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we need Kenny G. Got to light some candles, and I'm gonna wear a nice robe, or I'm gonna say really nice things to you. We're gonna come together at the exact same time. Like
we're gonna piss together at the exact same time.
So don't get hung up on fucking labels and terms and stuff like that. Just do your best. And if something seems to be lacking, communicate with your partner and figure out what it is. And if it's something on your side, be honest and open about what you're looking for. And if you think that there's something lacking for them, be like, hey, I want to increase the intensity. I want to increase the whatever.
I want to increase the BPMs.
No, then you're not making love anymore.
I know. That's why this problem arose. This is by Throw RA Race Stuff. One of our friends heard my girlfriend calling me a racial slur. Now my friend group is shunning her and trying to get us to break up. How do I diffuse the situation without revealing the embarrassing truth? So for context, I'm brown, my girlfriend is white, and he is 24, she's 25, the friend is 22.
Okay.
Most of our friends my girlfriend is white, most of our friend group is white as well, fairly progressive. I've always had a submissive streak, and my girlfriend was more than happy to accept this, both inside and outside the bedroom. Additionally, she's just so sweet and amazing and so accepting of who I am. Honestly, both on a sexual and non-sexual level, she's the best relationship I've ever had by far, and a few months in trusting her. Don't know what that means. I've always had a fetish, which I've been really into, but I've never told anyone about it because it's very taboo. Like people would disown me if I revealed it. Namely, I'm into race play. I like the idea of being in a power dynamic where race is a topic, as well as the idea of being colonized or conquered by a white girl or whatever. I understand that usually for these sorts of fantasies, the genders are flipped, but I've always been really into the idea for a while. Felt comfortable enough to confess it. She said she'd try it with me. She was really uncomfortable and nervous since she's fairly liberal and felt guilty, but apparently seeing I reacted well, it let her push through this and became one of the cornerstones of our sex life. I'm obviously a lot more into it than she is, but I think she's gotten into it because of how it makes me act too. We've been engaging in this kink for a few months now. That's most of the background story, blah, blah, blah. Basically, me and my GF were hosting our friend group for a party. Soon it was winding down, everyone left. We went to our bedroom to get ready for bed, and she casually called me a slur pretty loudly because we thought everyone had left. Apparently, one of our friends had not actually left and came back to get her keys, heard everything, came upstairs to yell at my girlfriend, who was horrified. I tried to defend her, saying it was a joke, but our friend didn't accept it and said I was the victim of racist abuse and had Stockholm Syndrome. Eventually, I got her to leave, but then the situation got worse. Our friend group has blown up, calling my girlfriend all sorts of names, telling me to dump her. They even tried confronting me at my job when I got off for an intervention without the racist. For her part, my girlfriend has been catatonic. Like I said, she's fairly liberal, so being called racist by all her friends has been damaging. She's been crying, asking if she really was racist and if she was abusing me for taking part in my fantasies. I don't know. It's crazy. I feel really guilty because I'm seeing what all of this does to her. Tried telling our friends several times I'm not a victim. We like to engage in dark humor, but they're not biting and sending me articles about how racist jokes are still punching down and some shit. I feel like literally all I can do to restore my GF's reputation is tell the truth. But the truth would be so embarrassing for me. And like, if I got back to people within my community, I think I might legit get disowned or something. I'm confused on what to do. Do I fall on my sword? Is there an easy way out of this where I don't have to reveal my depraved fantasies, but my girlfriend keeps her reputation?
Yikes. Well, I think unfortunately this is a mess that you started, and this is a mess that you got to clean up. And I don't say that lightly, but I was really worried that they were engaging in this in a public sphere and got caught. At which point I'd be like, that's your fucking fault. But you were in your private house. Like, you were in your bedroom. You were unaware that someone had come back into your space. I sympathize with that. That sucks. What you do in your bedroom, quite literally, is your business. Everyone seems consensual. I think she's on the same page as like I would be in that situation of being like, if someone wanted that. I've been with a partner before who wanted something similar. We did it once, and I was like, hey, that sucked for me. I appreciate that you're into it, but like, not for me. Can't do it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think there is just as much damage being done to your partner as in this climate. I mean, maybe swinging back.
I would say far more damage being done to the partner, short of the getting disowned part. But like,
that's what I mean.
I don't see how that would get back to people, because like, if you have these friends who, as you say, are white and progressive and whatever, it's like, they should know better than to kink shame. And if they're actually your friends, you should also be able to be like, hey, I didn't tell you because I was embarrassed, but also more importantly, I don't want to get literally disowned. So can you keep that to yourself?
That's a very good point.
If they're shitbags, do you even want to be friends with them? But also, this was your thing, and you not jumping to the defense of your girlfriend when they're in this really bad position, I think is really shitty.
Yeah, I mean, what you should have done was the second your friend came up to it, be like, hey, listen, here's the situation. We didn't know you were here. This is a sex thing.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, because the problem with now is
you've already made these weird lies, and now it might sound like you're like digging up.
It's not just that, but like other people know, right? Yeah. So it's like you could have a talk with this one friend, and then all of a sudden this friend's going to have to like tell everyone else, be like, no, it's cool. Why? It just is. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a solution anymore, right? You could have cut this off at the feet, but you sort of like, again, the answer you gave of being like, it was a joke sucks. That sucks, because you essentially said, my partner likes making racist jokes and I deal with it, right? Like, so I understand the friend's reactions from it.
Yes, I also would be incredibly uncomfortable if I heard somebody say something like that about one of my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and of course, just being like, it's a joke. That's not a. Oh, no. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if it was, I mean, like, I can only assume some of the slurs that are probably being used, and like,
list them
first,
please. No.
So like it's one thing like if you were calling him a stupid little bitch or something, you know what I mean? Like that would be like, no, that's just like a, you know, that I think, but like it's tough to use a slur and be like, that's a joke. It's a joke. It's like if I had a gay friend and used gay slur, or like any friend and used a slur, like it doesn't matter.
The definition
how
of
close you
slurs
are.
is like they have so much power just by the word that it's like,
yeah,
it's very hard to then be like, oh no, there's affection somehow, like because you could mock someone without doing the worst word for them, you know?
Yeah, it's tough, and I think you fucked this situation up.
Oh, you
by
beefed
not,
it so hard
by not defending your partner honestly in the beginning, because
and the thing is,
so my concern. I didn't hear that the friends were also white. I thought the friends were members of his community as well,
No.
which is why I thought it was a lot more of a risk of like it getting into sort of like, you know, more cultural spaces for him, like whether he goes to some sort of like religious institution. I don't know what he does for work. I don't know how ingrained the family is, that kind of thing. Right. Like that's why I was, but if your friends are also white, I think then at this point in time, you need to come clean. And I understand. I wouldn't want to be like, here's a kink that I've never told anyone and is quite sort of taboo. And you know, we're a pretty progressive show, and I would consider race play pretty taboo.
I don't know. I feel like my views are very weird, probably because of this show. But it's like if a friend told me that, I'd be like, okay, like you do you. You know what I mean? If you want to do some stuff and it's consensual and you're both into it and it's all that, it's like that's fine.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't judge anyone on it, but I do understand the hesitant. Like, it's not like him being like, oh, I like to be spanked or I like to be ball gagged, right? Like being like, oh yeah, I asked my partner to say horrible things to me.
It's so shitty that this person is putting like embarrassment. Again, I'm kind of stepping aside from the being shunned in the community thing because like I fail to see how that would happen. You know what I mean? Again, if your friends are chill and not in that community, I don't know how it gets back to them. But like, if it's just your embarrassment versus this person maybe losing their career, social standing, like everything, you know what I mean? It's like,
that's the thing.
I don't know how you could stand there and let them suffer massively for a thing they did to you, kind of like reluctantly, you know, like they've done all this for you. The fucking least you can do is have their back.
Yeah. And that's kind of it, right? Like we've seen it so many times where it's like, it's pretty much impossible to walk back from
certain accusations,
things, right? Like if for whatever reason someone goes to her job, and complains, it's like, okay, great, she's lost her job now,
and she can't walk back in a week and be like, hey, so
they were mistaken. It's something you need to do ASAP. You need to do that. You need to fix this problem immediately.
And I think that's one of those things that like, as the person whose kink it is, that's part of the responsibility. If for some reason this kink puts your partner in a compromising position or something, you know what I mean? When it's your thing, part of the responsibility and ownership and like being like respectful of kink is them being the one to protect your partner from any potential fallout of what they're doing for and with you.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you were into some sort of like if you were into like a pretty aggressive choking or something, and you had bruises around your neck, and someone was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And the answer was, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend was just joking around."
Yes.
What the fuck? Like, I would be pissed. It's like,
or like,
no,
imagine like consensual non-consent or something, and someone for some reason came in and saw or heard that, and you didn't immediately fess up to what was happening. And
if you were just like, oh, it was just a joke, we were just playing around. Like, no, be like, hey, we have, you know, all these precautions in place. We have this, we have that. This is what we do. We're very safe. You know, it's by my request. Here are the things that we do to take care of each other. Here are the aftercare that we do. Like, yes, you have an absolute onus to fix this. And sorry if it comes at your detriment. Like, that sucks. I understand the dilemma, but you flick the domino, you got to reset them. Like, it's your job.
It's like there's fallout no matter what, and the fallout can either be really bad for this person, like whose kink it isn't, or bad for you whose kink it is. And like, I think we both know which one's the fair way for this to go. Yeah. Like you can't.
Yeah, you shouldn't get off scot-free because it might be uncomfortable for you. Yeah. 100%. This is from Impressive Noise. Great sex, but we broke up. Hi, I recently, a 27-year-old female, started dating a guy, a 26-year-old male, off of Bumble. He's such a sweet guy, funny, and he's nice to be around. Our sex is so hot. The best I've ever had. But we've come to terms, we had a talk last night, that we are only together because the sex is amazing. We aren't really a good match together, but we enjoy each other's company. I like him, but I don't love him. And we kind of broke up yesterday. It was a bad ending because we did have a small argument, but I am still so physically attracted to him. All I think about is us having sex. I'm not upset about us breaking up, but what do I do? Should I mention to him that we should keep hooking up, or is that heading down the wrong road?
I feel like when you break up, a clean cut is generally for the best.
It's, for me, I don't understand what was this conversation? What was the argument? Right? Like, you both recognize that, like, oh, hey, our sex is incredible, but we don't see longevity in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, right? Like, I don't see the need to, like, you can both be aware of that, especially, like, it's even better when both of you are on the same page. It would be different if she was like, oh, I really like him, but he says,
well,
or vice versa.
My worry is that there's a hidden I really like him in there, or on his side or her side. Did it say how long they were dating?
No, just recently.
Okay, because if it's like, if you just started dating and you realize, like, oh, once you started doing the dating stuff that all you want is sex, it's been, a recent enough development and you're both on the same page, 100%. Like, we've talked before about what, like, you shouldn't just cut off good things because you're looking for something else, in the way that, like, if you're single, you can still have sex with them, Yeah. There's no harm in having good sex and then occasionally going on dates or meeting other people. Once again, you're not, like, cheating on somebody or, being malicious, like, or whatever.
If you're so hung up on this guy, you're not going to be a good person to date, right?
No,
like, every dude who comes after this dude is going to be compared to him. And if you've still got the Jonesing for this guy, then no one's going to stand up, because all you're going to do is, like, it's going to be built up in your head more and more. The rose-tinted glasses are going to go on. And what was great sex is now going to become, like, mythical sex.
Yeah,
right?
Impossible to even get in your
because
sex.
You're going to remember how good it was. And you're going to be held to a standard that, like, we'll never be able to accomplish. So you kind of got to get this guy out of your system one way or the other, whether it's
by getting him in your system.
Yeah. Whether you let him piss all over you from behind and then spit on you, or you figure out a way to move on.
Yeah. But I don't see, if you feel like emotions aren't going to get in the way, good sex is great. So why not? Right. The only time I would be hesitant for this is if you are, like, you got to be very honest with yourself and make sure that you don't think feelings will creep back in. And I think also just be very clear about what you are now, so that people aren't hurt if someone goes on a date in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think having a conversation with this guy, being like, yeah, hey, look, we're on the same page. We don't see a relationship happening out of this. And that's okay with me, because I really like having sex with you. So if you would like to continue to just have sex when it's available for us, when our schedules line up, and if you want to just keep me in your, like, Rolodex booty call, I am comfortable still fucking you. But, I don't really want to go on dates with you. That's fine. And, like, that puts, you've put a ball in his court. If he wants to pick it up and play, that's fine. He might just be like, yeah, no, sorry. Like, if I don't see a thing going, then I don't really want to progress with it. And that's fine too. That's his prerogative. He's allowed to do it. But I think there is no harm in tilting your hand here, because you've already lost it regardless.
Yeah, I think you got it.
And as long as you're not, like, super desperate or weird about it.
Don't be weird about it.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, I like fucking you. If you want to keep doing it, I'm down. Good.
Would you care for another?
Yeah, we could do another.
The one I had for last is actually kind of long, so I'm going to just pull one up real quick, because it's too long. Here we go. This is by Laurie1270. How can I, 22-year-old female, break up with my boyfriend, 28-year-old male? He wants to be with me forever. He also owes me $500 and I resent him. This has been asked before, but I need some direct reassurance I'm making the correct choice and how to go about it. Been dating him for a year and a half, but I've noticed he has a problem with lying. I've directly called him in one big one, and there have been a few other things I have a strong suspicion about. He is a horrible liar, but I cannot prove. Due to this, I don't think I can trust him. It's not fair to me nor him, and I think I've also grown resentful because there are things I know he's lying about, but just can't prove it. They irk me to my core. How do I break up with him? I know I technically just go to his house and do it, but I don't know what to say to him, like, at all. I've never broken up with anyone before, and I worry I'll go out there with the intention of doing it, but not do it. I wish I could do it over text or even a call, but I worry that's disrespectful. Another issue here is he owes me money, about $500, which is a lot for me as a student. How do I ask for that back while also breaking up with him?
Yeah, the money thing complicates things. Everything else is pretty simple. Where if you don't trust someone, and I don't even think you need to go into like a big spiel, right? Like you're pretty young. I know there's this idea that a breakup should be super final and have closure and have this, you have a big speech prepared and you but it's like you can literally just tell someone, hey, this isn't working out for me.
100%.
I'm sorry, blah 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 blah, but like I'm out. Like it doesn't need to be anything more than that. And again, break up over fucking text if it feels like if that's the only way you can do it.
Sure. I will say, like, if you're just lazy or like you don't like confrontation or something, I think you should probably try to get to a point where you can go and do this in person, because it is kinder and it's probably a skill you should learn. If you are concerned that it's going to be like aggressive or danger of any kind, by all means, email or text or whatever. But like,
I think this dude's lying to her all the time. I don't know if she owes that kindness to him, right?
That's my thing. But she ain't proven it.
It's true.
No, but for real, like if someone has lost, like if they don't respect you and they've lost that respect, they don't have the right either to then be given that respect. So, if someone's doing shitty things for you, like it doesn't, even if you know they're not going to do anything unsafe, you don't owe them anything.
Yeah. No. And like, I agree with what you're saying in terms of like breaking up over text is kind of a dick thing to do. It's not very respectful. It's not very kind. But
you make a good point. If you've lost that privilege by being a dick, it's like, sure.
Yeah. And like if the two options are, I don't know if I can physically do it in person, so I guess I'm going to be staying in this relationship forever, or I'm going to send kind of a shitty way of getting out of it. Like, I'm sorry, but like life, you got to serve yourself. Ideally, you're also being kind and taking care of everyone else around you while you're doing that. But at the end of the day, it's like you shouldn't be in a relationship that you don't want to be in because of situations in which like you have a hard time doing these things. Now, especially when that person seems to be a piece of shit.
Now we got to talk money.
The money makes things tough.
You need to figure out right now what is more important, ending this relationship or getting that money. Because let me tell you, I don't think you're doing both at once.
Yeah, if you want the money, you got to do it in person. I think. I don't think you can.
No, if you want the money, you got to do it in 3 weeks. And between now and those 3 weeks, you got to get the money. I don't think they're giving you the money after you break up because people are assholes. So if you really need the money, you message them today and you say, "Hey, look, I really need that money back. Like, I know I lent you the $500. Like, can we?" When can you get that to me by? Right. Yeah. And be like, I need it by the end of the week. You can lie and say something came up. You can say your mom is like upset because she saw your savings and you're down 500. You know what I mean? It doesn't really fucking matter. These are what we call white lies, and see what their response is. Now they are a bit of a liar. So you need like a hardcore like guarantee, and that guarantee can't be next year. It could be like, next week or the week after. That's going to give you a little time. That sucks, but you need to make it like soon enough that you can like get to that point. Then you might get the money back.
And I would also say, take what you can get, right? If he's like, I only have $100 right now, be like, great, I'll take the $100, and then you only have $400, right? Like that's a much smaller number. And like, so you might only get $250 or $300 out of the $500, better than zero, and you don't have to deal with this asshole.
I will also say, if you get him in text saying that he has taken the money from you and owes it to you, and maybe you get him on a little voice recording, and maybe you talk to a lawyer and you bring him to the small claims court. There are ways you could do this if you really need that money.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like that's going to cost you more than $500.
It depends. You could also just threaten them a little bit with it,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there are options if you really, really, really need that money. If you got to weigh that against staying with him for an extra week or two, though, right?
Yeah.
And I will say there's no harm in when you break up with him being like, hey, you do owe me that money, though, because maybe he's a decent person and will give it to you. I just don't think he will.
Yeah, my guess is 9 times out of 10, some people are a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Granted, I've when I broke up with my ex, we had things to be exchanged between each other, and it was fine.
Yeah, because you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true.
When me and my ex broke up, she stole my projector and binned all my furniture. So there we go.
Yeah, so be like me and not like Niall's ex.
Yeah, please.
Or like Niall, who deserved all of his stuff to be thrown out.
The best part is, fully didn't in any way, shape, or form, but
Of course you didn't. I'm kidding.
I wish I did. It would have made the whole thing a lot easier.
That's going to do it, friends. Thank you very much for hanging out with us for this fine, exciting, lovely episode.
It was fine, exciting, and lovely, wasn't it?
It was.
We love you. Thanks for swinging by. If you like us, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Please share us with a friend. Please like and or subscribe to our videos and our accounts and comment. And yeah, just do the things. The more people know about us, the better we do. And, that's always nice. But thank you for coming back time and again. Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities, for their song Paper Stars. And thank you, everyone, for getting comfortable as I lead you into some bad sex writing.
No.
Oh, no. You really going to complain?
Never good. It's bad sex writing.
I know, but you love it. This is a book called The Last Starfighter, 1984, by Alan Dean Foster.
It's a kick-ass movie.
Maggie climbed the steps onto the porch, watching Alex closely as she came up behind them. She took a minute to study the video screen, but the nuances of the game were lost on her. Girls didn't go in for the war games, no matter what the women's libbers might claim. Girls preferred crushing nasties in Millipede, or complicated maze games like Pac-Man and its variants. She didn't care much for any of them. She only took an interest because Alex was interested, and she admired his skill.
It's so funny. I was talking to my partner today about girl gamers and how they're all fake.
I know, but the women libbers would have you believe that they could comprehend something like, say, D&D. I doubt it.
No. Well, have you seen recently the quote from Gary Gygax, who's just like,
which fucking bullshit one?
Women don't get it. Women just don't understand. It's like, okay, dude.
Emily Axford would burn a hole through your chest and out the other side with her sheer mastery of the game.
I would love to just watch
any
of the incredible women and femme performers in the D&D space reach into his heart or his chest and rip out his beating heart and eat it, like multiple, like kind of like a Khaleesi situation, but also I believe Temple of Doom situation.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Yeah, he'd just be shredded. It would be like if he showed Shrek to like a peasant in medieval times, and they would just blow apart from the sheer
just
force
unravel like the Loki thing with the spaghettification.
100%. That's what would happen with Gary Gygax.
Fuck you, Gygax.
Fuck you.
My name's Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
We've been your fuck buddies.